Okay, what are we doing?
So, I have to introduce to you guys
yeah.
my current husband.
Wizard Liz is making headlines again, but if you don't know who Wizard Liz is, I made a more detailed video about her a while back. Feel free to check it out, but I'll share a quick overview now too, just in case you don't know anything about her.
Oh my god, I was gonna do this for you. Oh my god, I was going to... Shut up. You didn't do anything. Literally. Shut up. Don't talk to me.
Wizard Liz's entire career began and took off really quickly, and it was all a bit unusual. She started posting very simple videos where she would sit in front of the camera and talk at length about topics like relationships, attractiveness, psychology, manifesting, women empowerment, and in general how to be a high-value woman and attract a high-value man. She gained a lot of recognition and millions of views right from the start, which if you've been on YouTube, you know is not a typical way to build an audience, because most people work really hard for years and still get only a fraction of that kind of recognition, so she surely deserves some credit for that.
You should be worried about being broke.
I think one thing that people need to understand about Wizard Liz is that while many people look up to her and her advice may work for some, at the end of the day, it's still just advice from a random person on the internet, and recent events make that even more clear. It is not the first time Wizard Liz is making headlines. She's made headlines several times before. For example, there was a time when she said that men should be there to buy nice things for their women and support them, and that they shouldn't be ugly or broke, but rather wealthy.
Do not date broke guys. Do not date guys that have no money, have no job. Do not date them.
Which didn't sit well with a lot of people.
Bro, like, I can't really be shocked that you're going to attract a certain type of guy when you have videos like this.
How many men would date an unattractive woman? Exactly. They wouldn't. They just simply wouldn't, okay? Because they have that standard. If you're unattractive, I don't want to date you. But once a woman has standards, and it's like, if you're a broke guy, and with broke guy, if a person does not make you happier, more loved, or even wealthier, why are you there?
I don't know why everyone's so shocked that this happened. Like, oh my God, if this happened to her, nobody's safe. Like, who would have thought that the girl who leads the relationship looking for things that are materialistic and superficial is going to find a partner that's also, you know, not the best?
There was also a time when she claimed that everyone is obsessed with her because of her high vibrations. She even said that all her exes would still want to marry her if she gave them the chance, simply because of the way she chooses her partners, which many interpreted as highly narcissistic and self-absorbed. Considering she's currently at the center of major internet controversy, calling off her engagement while being 4 months pregnant with a man she recently accused of cheating, those earlier claims have definitely aged pretty badly.
They think like, oh, she's a narcissist. That's what I hear often. Or she's very toxic. Her mindset is very toxic. And it's like, I think people, they don't understand what narcissism actually is. And an actual narcissist wouldn't act like a narcissist. They act like the nicest person. That's why women stay in relationships with narcissists for so long.
Right.
Because they don't understand what's going on. A narcissist is not someone that comes on here and says, I am amazing, I am mesmerizing.
Yeah.
No, that's just all like, that's too outward. Narcissists are more closeted and very manipulative in the way they act, you know?
Without a doubt, no one deserves this kind of treatment, especially when they're about to get married and have a child with someone they plan to spend the rest of their life with. But unfortunately, given the nature of their relationship and how it began, a lot of this could have been predicted, and there were a lot of red flags. She even spoke about ignoring herself. So let's dive into their relationship timeline and maybe take this as a learning moment for all of us who've ever taken life advice from people on the internet.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do a video with my husband.
What's up, guys?
We're gonna do a Q&A.
Well, hey guys. Some of you may know me from YouTube back in the day. I haven't done YouTube in the longest time, but hi.
Wizard Liz and Landon, her fiancé, allegedly first spoke about 3 years ago when Landon messaged Liz to congratulate her on her sudden YouTube success. Both claimed there was no romantic involvement at the time, as Liz was in long-term relationship with her ex and Landon was also seeing someone. However, their stories don't quite align, as Liz suggests Landon only messaged her a few times over 2 years to congratulate her on her success, while while he implies they were consistently talking in a friendly way throughout that period. About a year ago, Wizard Liz posted a video titled "Why I Decided to End My Relationship," where she explains why she ended things with her long-term partner, even though, as she says, there was nothing wrong or toxic about the relationship.
Why did I end my relationship? First of all, I was way too comfortable in the relationship, and I posted about this on TikTok, and I said that I was way too comfortable, and then everybody was like, oh my god, you're so toxic, isn't that good being comfortable, blah blah blah. Being comfortable is good. Being way too comfortable is not good. When people become way too comfortable in a relationship, they don't want to do anything anymore. That's why you see a lot of people, they stop looking after themselves, like they don't care about anything anymore because they think, oh, I just have my partner, I already have him, whatever, you know? And then the partner starts to lose attraction for the person, or the person starts to feel really bad about themselves and they become very insecure.
She claims to have ended the relationship simply because it made her too comfortable, which many would argue isn't the best reason to walk away from something good. If you can call your partner your best friend and feel so at ease around them that outside validation matters a lot less, that's a sign of a strong, healthy relationship. But in her eyes, it was way too comfortable and perhaps even too boring. Of course, it's important to motivate each other, set new goals, meet new people, and keep growing, but having that safety net in your partner, someone who supports you no matter what, is one of life's greatest gifts, especially when life itself can be so challenging. The main problem that often set in after some time of being together, and that happens in many relationships, is boredom. These feelings naturally come with time, but people don't usually get married for excitement or thrills. They get married to commit to being there for each other through boredom, illness, and hardships. Marriage isn't just about gifts, roses, and romantic dinners. It's about facing life's challenges together and choosing to stay united no matter what. Let's be honest, if everyone started breaking up just because they felt too comfortable, we'd see way more divorces than we do now.
Look at your relationships with, like, even if it's your friend or your partner, they are mirroring you. Every guy that comes into my life, that they will be just a reflection of me. So I don't want to date anyone. This is just a time for me to learn to be on my own again, to learn to love myself fully. Like every single morning now when I wake up, I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I love you. I say my name and I say, I love you. Right now, I think for both of us to grow, we need to be separate.
Now, there is one point she made very clear in the video. She mentioned that she wants to be single for a while, to find herself and become more self-sufficient in order to rely on her partner much less. And she even mentioned the possibility of getting back together with her ex when they work through their issues separately. But fast forward just 3 months later, and she posts the video titled "I'm Getting Married," talking about how she manifested her dream man and got engaged within a couple of months, which kind of reminds me of the whole Bieber drama. All those rash decisions really point towards Liz not really knowing what she wants, and it seems like she's still trying to figure life out. So in the video, she claims Landon, whom she first spoke to 3 years ago, just happens to run into her at the airport at the random city, recognizes her, and they start talking and sparks are flying and they both in love. A lot of people found that story pretty suspicious, with many suggesting he may have been stalking her and that the airport encounter was far from a coincidence. But Liz claims it was the universe and that she manifested him.
We were already married and I wrote down what kind of characteristic he has. So I was like, oh, I'm so grateful for my husband. He's so deep. He's so intelligent, knows a lot of emotional intelligence, and we connect very well. And I wrote all of these things down that I appreciate in him and that I want my future husband to have, but I wrote it down as if it's already happened. And then I closed the book, I put it back, and that's it. Now, there's one thing about me. When I try to manifest a relationship, I get it like this. like a partner is like this.
I actually made a video on manifesting recently where I discussed both its pros and cons. It can definitely be a useful tool when used mindfully, but there are real dangers in taking it too seriously. In Liz and Landon's case, their relationship seemed heavily rooted in manifesting, idealizing each other, and writing out lists of traits they wanted in their partner. But that approach didn't really end well because it shaped how they viewed each other, almost as if their meeting was some kind of divine destiny. This mindset likely led to her rushing into an engagement and planning a family after just a few months of knowing each other. Decision made more on an impulse rather than rational thought.
Men know almost immediately if they want to marry you and spend the rest of their life with you. Like, these men know almost within a few months of meeting you if they want to spend their life with you.
A lot of people nowadays put a lot of pressure on relationships with statements like, if there's no ring after a year, run. He's not serious. This whole idea that when a man knows he knows just seems more like a fairy tale than real life, because the truth is, what can you actually know about a person after just meeting someone for the first time? Sure, you might be drawn to how they look, maybe their charisma, or feel attracted to the version of them you've created in your head, but that's about it. Real compatibility takes time to actually reveal itself. Marriage won't magically fix poor communication or emotional immaturity, and it definitely won't change someone. What's crazy to me is how lightly some people take marriage, and honestly, that's a big part of why divorce rates are so high. There's really no need to sprint towards marriage just to check off a box. Not long ago, Liz posted a video titled Q&A with my husband, after which many people have accused Landon of love bombing, doing and saying everything she wanted to hear.
From the time I met you and then watched you become successful, I felt I related with you and the things that you were saying. Like, in my head, you were always such a, like, an ideal partner, ideal woman, ideal wife.
Now, to be fair, that kind of behavior can seem somewhat normal in the early stages of a relationship. You're still in the showing off phase, putting your best face forward. But Landon took it to the whole another level. He showered Liz with gifts, spoke about marriage almost immediately after meeting her, and according to what's been shared, he knew exactly what she was looking for in a partner and essentially became the ideal man she had described online.
Babe, I need to tell you something. So, you know how I gave you the card and like we've been spending a lot of money recently? Don't think I can keep doing that. Like, I'm almost out of money. So yeah, so I was thinking we could like sell some stuff. Like
As some people say, just let a person talk and they'll show you exactly who they really are. That can definitely be said about Landon. Just days before the cheating allegation surfaced, Landon openly admitted that he adored her even when he didn't know her personally and was still in a relationship with somebody else.
Cute, but obviously I didn't think anything of it. We just talked a little and that was it. I got into my relationship. You also got into a relationship then. So we were both like just living our lives and
but in my head, I like adored you, to be honest. Like, every time that you would send me a message, I got just uniquely excited.
That alone speaks volumes about his pattern of disloyalty. People often excuse this kind of behavior by saying things like, it's different with me, or we were meant to be. But in most cases, if someone shows disloyalty towards their previous partners, there's a strong chance that some behavior will show up again. Sure, when you're with someone new, it's natural to view them as more special than the people who came before. Otherwise, those past relationships wouldn't have ended. But that's not what Landon implied. He was in other relationships while daydreaming about Wizard Liz, romanticizing and elevating her image to unrealistic standards, and that kind of infatuation seems pretty obsessive and even dangerous. He even admitted to telling her he loved her within 36 hours of meeting her.
I met her on Instagram, actually. I went to search something on Instagram, and before I could even like search what I was looking for, I saw her picture. It was just on the Explore page, the very first thing. I clicked a picture and I saw that she was from Dallas. I think you tagged SMU where you go to school, and I was like, that's 5 minutes away. What? I was like, this girl's so beautiful. Oh my god, I got a messenger. I sent you a message, and yeah, that's that. Okay, like one day I opened my Instagram, and this is when, I guess they still do it now, but you would get like recommended posts, and I think Liz's content was just starting to blow up, and so I got a recommended post about her account, and I saw her, and I immediately was like, oh my gosh, there's something special about this person. I don't know what it is. Obviously you're so beautiful, but there was something deeper. And so I was like, I'm gonna send her a message.
Considering Liz has often spoken about men obsessing over her in the past, constantly falling in love and wanting to marry her, if that's something that happens in her life all the time, with the level of experience and self-awareness, she should have been more cautious about someone mirroring her every desire so quickly.
If you look at your relationships with, like, even if it's your friend or your partner, they are mirroring you. Every guy that comes into my life, that they will be just a reflection of me.
And that brings us to the breaking point. Landon was exposed for messaging another woman behind Liz's back, implying that his entire relationship with Wizard Liz was just a publicity stunt and internet thing and is fake, and even trying to ask her out on a date.
I think all the people telling me whatever for this thing that I am acknowledging is wrong, and it's not, it was 5-10 minutes of my life texting somebody that I don't give a fuck about, jeopardizing everything that I have. Like, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, I deserve the hate, and there's not a single person on this fucking planet that is more disappointed or upset. So I don't expect you guys to understand, but I hope you take into consideration that you can make a mistake and get better. And this isn't just a mistake, right? Like, this is breaking trust, but I realized what I did was wrong, and it's never going to happen again. Doesn't mean it's okay, but...
Now, getting engaged, getting someone pregnant, and then turning around and claiming the relationship was fake or just for the show, that's not just shady at this point, that's unhinged. Soon after the messages surfaced, Liz took to social media to speak out. She announced that the engagement was officially off. She said she would not accept this kind of betrayal, and she made it clear that she wasn't going to take him back. Meanwhile, Landon brushed it off as a silly mistake. He claimed he was just seeking validation and it didn't mean anything and that it won't happen again. But let's be honest, when you're about to start a family with someone, calling something like this a mistake just doesn't cut it.
I will not settle for someone that's cheating on me. You guys, do you understand what cheating is?
Now, it's hard to say whether they will consider getting back together, and that's mainly because Wizard Liz is currently pregnant, which makes everything a lot more complicated. She's mentioned before that she never wanted to be a single mother, and that adds an emotional layer to an already messy situation. But even if she did want to take him back, that would come at a major cost, one that could potentially damage her career and reputation, as after all, her platform is built on a message that a woman should be strong, independent, and never settle for a man who brings chaos into her life. She stated clearly, "I will never take him back," and even more firmly, a man who cannot control his lust will never be able to lead. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that no matter how strong the feelings are, take your time. Don't let social pressure, timelines, and TikTok advice rush you into life-altering decisions.